Hi, my name is Darrell Cove. I'm from Pelham, New Hampshire. I'd like to talk to you today about a product called the Crazy Seal. The RV you see behind me, I had some significant damage to the roof, which will victimize most everyone in this campground. There's 600 sites that has an EPDM rubber roof. What happens to the rubber roofs is over time, and not that much time, they get dry, they crack, they bubble on top. That causes a crack, and the most often you'll see the tears around the corner of the unit at the top. It's because the EPDM roof, as it comes across the roof, goes down underneath the metal. Then they put a connecting mechanism that goes along the edge of the camper that holds the metal to the rubber. But where that rubber goes around the corner, there's no glue. There's nothing. It's not attached to anything. On top, it's attached to follow particle board, as we like to call it, which is as cheap as it can get, but that's what they do. So every one of these EPDM roofs are a problem just waiting to happen. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And most of the times, like myself, you don't see that damage. And by the time you do see it, it's too late. It's recognized by water stains inside the camper, a smell of mold inside the camper, or you happen to be on your roof, maybe leaf blowing it off, and you happen to see a little tear. Well, if you see a little tear, water's made its way down there for quite some time and already caused a bunch of damage. So I had significant damage inside, and the follow particle board, as you walked across it, you could hear it crunching because it absorbs the water like a sponge. And once it does that, it just falls apart. So I started looking for a product that I could re-roof, use for my re-roofing of my camper. And the very first thing I was going to do is have to take off all the follow particle board, all the EPDM rubber, remove all the roof vents and air conditioners, and then I was going to I have replaced it with real plywood, 1/2 inch solid plywood. That's the first thing I did. But then came the daunting task of trying to figure out what I'm going to put for a substrate across that plywood. So I was very hesitant to put EPDM rubber back on it, knowing that it would be only a matter of time again when I'd have the same issue. I was about to order some more EPDM roofing and trying to figure out how am I going to get a 200, the camper here is 39 feet long and it's 8.5 foot wide. So I was trying to figure out how am I going to get a 200 and something pound roll of EPDM rubber roofing up there, and then once it's up there, move it around all by myself because it's just me. I was perplexed. They didn't know exactly which way to turn, and there came the email that saved me, and it was an email from Dave saying, "Hey, we have a do-it-yourself system. Are you interested?" I was looking at some other roll-on options, but oddly enough, that none of them would guarantee their product if it was put on fresh plywood. That was a little mind-boggling for me because it seems like the best scenario for a roofing product is to go on a brand new, perfectly smooth, clean substrate. The folks at Crazy Seal, Dave and Jordan, said no. I said, that's a perfect match for us. So the Crazy Seal system is 3 parts. It's the Crazy caulk, it's the Crazy patch, and then it's the Crazy Seal itself. So I will say, I've used many different caulk types, silicons, the myriad of products. I have never seen anything like the Crazy Seal Crazy caulk. It's a fiber-infused caulk that you have a certain amount of time before it sets, but once it sets, it is outstanding. It's easy to apply, but you can just tell when you're installing it, you're using an exceptional product. So after I tore everything out, had to put all new sills around the edge of the top of the camper. I put all the plywood back. I used construction screws to put it all in. Even I had to put some wood glue in on top of some of the replaced joists to really bond it well. I wanted to use this great product, and it didn't let me down. So the first thing I did was I caulked all in the seams of the plywood and all around the edges. You can see a little bit here that there is some flashing that I've used that really belongs on homes for the edges to stop the problem of water getting anywhere near the edge of the camper. So I also crazy caulked that underneath and then screwed it in, so it would set, and then I did a crazy caulk seal once again around the whole edge. So the whole camper, all the plywood pieces were crazy caulked in all the seals, and around the skylights, and around the air conditioner mounts, every place where there was a seam. And I'll tell you, I almost feel like I could have left it right there and I wouldn't have had a problem, but I went through the rest of the system. The next part of the system was called Crazy Patch. So Crazy Patch comes in gallons, and it is I put it on with a 3.5-inch brush. By the way, the Crazy Seal website has videos and PDFs with perfectly clear instructions that anybody can follow. So I'm not, don't take my word for it. Just go take a look at those videos and look at that documentation. It's very good, and therefore any kind of condition, whether you're starting from scratch or you're just patching a certain part of your roof, all of it's there. So back to the Crazy Patch. The Crazy Patch is too thin to be put on with a trowel, but it's thick, and you can put it on with a brush. It takes a little time, but I'll tell you what, the Crazy Patch, I mentioned this in a video that I sent Jordan of Crazy Seal. It's like Crazy Caulk on steroids. It is just spectacular. And once you put that around, I put that around over the same seams, over the Crazy Caulk. I was saying this is incredible, because this will never ever leak. I'll never have a problem with this again. Feeling like I could just leave it as is. Once that was done, it came time for the Crazy Seal. Now the Crazy Seal goes on with just a 1/2-inch nap paint roller, and a long stick in the end of the paint roller handle. Now what I did is Dave advised me correctly. He gave me a 3-gallon pail of the gray and a 5-gallon pail of the white. Now the two colors are identical products, but the first one is a gray, so when you do put on the white, you can see where you're spreading it. Great idea. So what I did is, for each piece of plywood, on my camper, I had 8 of them. Actually, I had 9 of them. So what I did is I took the 9 and divided it by the 3 gallons, so I knew exactly how much to pour on each piece of plywood. So I made sure I got even coverage, and that worked out perfectly. And then I put the gray on, and by the time I was done the gray and it cured, again, I could have left it there and been completely confident that I would never have a leak in this camper again. But instead, I put the white, which was going on in a thicker coat, because it was 5 gallons as opposed to 3 gallons of the gray, and I spread that on, and again, going per my measurements on a per sheet basis. But I also, took a paintbrush and went around. Same thing with the gray. Went around all of the skylights. Went around the air conditioner holes. Went around the fans holes. Every place where there was a seam. The stink pipes. Everything got a coat of this stuff. And I once the white was on, I'll tell you, there's a reason. There's a 50-year warranty on this product. It'll be around a lot longer than I will, and this camper will not have a leak in it. So over and above, I want to say thanks to Dave and Jordan, and talk about support. I would text them or give them a call. If they didn't answer, they would immediately call me back, or I would immediately get a text, not from one of them, but usually from both of them at the same time, with guidance if I had any questions as I went through the process. So I would behoove anybody that's going to be dealing with a roof, especially an RV roof, you just use this product, and you will not have to worry. You will not have a sleepless night wondering if it's going to let go, if you're going to have a water damage again. Just do it. Since the time I've done this, I've spoken to at least 4 people on my street here. And they said, could you come up and take a look at my roof? And sure enough, what did I see? I saw the same cracks on the sides. I saw the same stuff that happened to my camper that I didn't see, that led to heavy water damage, that led me to having to take the whole roof off to do it right. And so all of them are interested in the Crazy Seal product, and I don't blame them, because they came up to my roof and took a look at what it looks like after it's done. It's a fantastic product. I would suggest give them a call if you have a small patch to repair, or you're doing a major job like I am. 50-year warranty, unparalleled support. I would suggest it to my best friend in a heartbeat. So I'm glad I've had a time to maybe save someone the trouble that I went through. And again, it's a great product, great support. Get Crazy Seal.